survive if I let you.
Man, what is going on? You know who I am, Blackout Jones. You know where we're at, just shooting the sports. And it has been a long week, a very long week in the world of Blackout Jones and this channel. I had a lot to talk about in regards to Coach Caldwell and the Lady Vols, you know, the Tennessee men's basketball program. You know, they like to jump out to damn near 20-point leads and squander them almost. Definitely did it against Kentucky again last Saturday. Then they almost did it again the other night against Mississippi State. They was up by, 20 points? Almost squandered that. They got down to, 5 points? And then, of course, you know, the situation with Coach Caldwell and, you know, her calling out her team and saying they're a bunch of quitters. You know, after getting demolished by 43 points by South Carolina, but it's South Carolina. But if you looked at the game like I did, yeah, there was a lot of giving up, packing it in. But at the same time, Kim Caldwell, you know, you can't keep, you know, switching out players every other minute. You know, that's not going to do anybody well. That's not going to do any team well. You got to have rhythm. And by doing that, you'll never have any rhythm. But at the same time, you know, last year around this same time, you know, Tennessee was losing those type of games, but they were losing them real close. They beat the eventual, national champions last year, the UConn Huskies in Knoxville. So it's not to say this system doesn't work. It's just that you got to have the personnel to go with this system. Now, whether they figure it out or not, that remains to be seen. But I like the way that they answered the bell against Missouri, even though, Missouri's 16-10 or 16-11 now. They have 4 players out yesterday for that game. But you took care of business and you beat them by 45. Now, with all that being said, that looked good. But you got Texas coming up next. Top 5. Now, they're probably licking their wounds because they got whooped out by Vandy. So I'm pretty sure they're going to come to Thompson-Boling Arena, a.k.a. the Summit, with a point to prove. But we're going to truly see what the Lady Vols are going to look like against, once again, another top 10 team. Because let's face it, when they played a top 10 team this year, they have not looked good at all. All their losses have been by double digits. Now, have they had some quality wins? Yes. They beat a ranked Alabama team at the time. They beat a ranked Kentucky team at the time. Yeah, they did all that. But I know that's not why you're here. I know you're here because of the Joey Aguilar situation, the Joey Aguilar court case that took place today. It's crazy. The whole thing was crazy because you had, on one side, you had a guy that's defending the NCAA, and hell, he's a UT alumni, season ticket holder at that. Then you have the judge. He's an alumni, season ticket holder as well. And then you got Joey Aguilar, who right now is still currently part of the program, but they couldn't come to a decision. There was a lot of back and forth about marketing, and there was a lot of things that didn't make sense in either argument. Well, not necessarily Joey's case, but in the NCAA's case. Why the judge was asking about marketing things, I'm not sure. But the NCAA, the lawyer, Taylor Askew, he took that and he ran with it. And he just kept focusing on the marketing aspect of the whole situation. My thought process has always been, JUCO is a different entity than the NCAA. It's just a different entity. The problem was nobody in the past had the backbone to challenge it until now, because it's considered the NJCAA, and then you have the NCAA. And I think the lawyer was trying to come with a point where he was talking about, you know, eligibility and the 4 years of college and of eligibility and things of that nature. But my problem was this: he tried to make it seem like junior college is the same as NCAA, but it's not. It's just not, and I don't know why nobody can't see that. See, they've been getting away with it for so long that they feel like it's just the norm. Yeah, it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to carry that eligibility over to the NCAA, but that doesn't make any sense. It never did. Now you have people out here that say, "Hey, he's been in college too long. This will be his 8th year." Granted, yeah, he played in a lower level, system. He went to community college, junior college. Then he played at Appalachian State. So that's 6 years, and then he came to Tennessee. That's his 7th year. But the JUCO thing, no, that shouldn't count whatsoever. I've always believed that. That should never count towards the eligibility to NCAA. Now, in regards to Chambliss, and it seems like it's a theme now when you get denied, like Chambliss got denied 3 times, right? And he figured, hey, why not following my man from Alabama's footsteps and let's go ahead and take it to the Mississippi courts and see what I could do. And of course, the judge was very, very sympathetic about the whole situation, and he got his eligibility. But there's the difference. He actually played under the NCAA banner all the way through, Division II, Division III, whatever it was. So his eligibility matters. Now, of course, they talked about the red shirt situation. That's fine. But in regards to Joey Aguilar, my thing is this. Last year, you let Pavia, you gave a blanket judgment or a blanket injunction, whatever you want to call it. The NCAA had a year and a half to come up with something. And once again, dragging their feet as usual, they still don't have anything. So why should this year be any different? Now, if Joey Aguilar gets his eligibility, fine, great, welcome. If he doesn't, I'm fine with that too, because we got horses in that quarterback locker room, in that position. You got GMAC, he's ready. Then you got Faison Brandon, he's going to be ready. And then, of course, you got Ryan Staub, who has played a couple of seasons at Colorado, who transferred from Colorado, of course, to Tennessee. So you already have 3 back there. And, of course, I'm going to keep saying it. If you watch my videos in the past, I'm going to keep saying it. Put some respect on that man's name, Mason Phillips. Put some respect on it, because he's still a quarterback at the end of the day. But with all that said, man, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. You really don't even know, to be honest, what this is going to look like. Come next week? I know that Monday is President's Day, so definitely not going to have a decision at that point. And then, of course, Tuesday, will we have a decision or not? Who knows? But of course, I know for a fact we will have a decision come next week. That is for certain. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. But what are y'all thoughts about it? How do y'all feel about the whole situation? How do y'all feel about Joey Aguilar and, what his do y'all think he should get his eligibility? I'm trying to see something here. Give me a second. Because something is not working. Yeah, this is my first time using StreamYard, by the way. So, yeah, this is weird. Yeah, I'm trying to see if anybody's making any comments. No, I don't see anything. All right, cool. But, yeah, so how do y'all feel about it? And also, I saw something come through the other day. Man, look, I'm just chilling today. Hey, I'm talking to y'all like, man, I'm talking to a family member today. I really am. That's why I'm on today. But I did see some reports about, y'all remember Celeste Moore, and they talked about why he decommitted from Tennessee. And I was like, when I read about it, basically his dad was stating that the reason why they decommitted from Tennessee because they were still trying to get Tristan Keys. They were still trying to recruit, top priority wide receivers. Well, I mean, my thing is this. You knew that when you got recruited, you knew that when you got committed. Hey, it wasn't a secret. Everybody knows that Tennessee was still trying to flip him. I don't know what was being told behind the scenes, but it was clear as day in the open for everyone to see. So I'm not sure what that was about. And then, of course, we got a person that decommitted today. What's his name? Let me take a look. His name is Whitfield, Kamari Whitfield, 3-star, 2027 prospect. He decommitted today, and the reasons that he decommitted was because of a lot of coaching changes that is going on at the University of Tennessee. Of course, he came in, Tim Banks and Willie Martinez recruited him. That's who he committed to. And then, of course, the change happened with Tim Banks, Willie Martinez, and he still was, staying put. And then, of course, Michael Huntley Jr., he ended up deciding to go to the Los Angeles Rams to be their secondary coach. So for him, it was like, look, there's a lot of changes going on. Let me step back. Let me see what else, might be going on. He stated that Tennessee was still one of his top prospects. But he is making he's going to do some official visits. And, of course, one of them is the University of Florida. And he actually visited them back in January, and he felt like, they did a great job of impressing him. So, of course, Florida is going to be one of the teams that is going to bring him in on official visits. He also has visits lined up with Oregon, Nebraska, and then Virginia Tech. So, we got a long way to go before any commitments take place in regards to Kamari Whitfield. If he decides to come to Tennessee, hey, that's great. We love to have you, but the train don't stop. Recruiting is a all-year thing. So once you decommit and you decide to try to come back, a spot may not be open for you. That's just what it is here in the college football arena. But yeah, back to Joey, man. I saw a guy where he talked about how, you get, the NCAA denies you. And then when you get denied, you go to your home state and then get eligible, to play for, the team that you're committed or the team that you've been playing for. You become eligible. And he felt like that's just a punk way of going out instead of just dealing with the decision that was laid down. I mean, if we really want to go there, the NCAA got us here. This is where it all started. The NCAA, because he stated that with this happening, the NCAA doesn't have any power anymore. That's cool, but it's the power that got them in this position in the first place. Understand, way back when, I don't know if y'all remember Ed O'Bannon. Of course, he had that big court case against the NCAA. He won in regards to name, image, and likeness. That's how we didn't get NCAA college football anymore, because you had to pay the players. And, I mean, he had a great case. And, of course, he was victorious. But at that time, I don't think they were still paying players after that. And then once we got to NIL, of course, the floodgates opened up. But when you opened up the floodgates, you didn't even have no rules in place for real. It was just Wild Wild West. And you technically still don't have any rules in place right now. But you want to, you want to put your pimp hand on everybody and try to be, try to have that power and that control, and it's just not happening anymore. Unfortunately, you lost a couple of cases here in the last couple of years. You definitely tried to come in Tennessee again after you got us with the Jeremy Pruitt situation, and that didn't work out for you. And speaking on that, the court case today, it's a rematch between the two lawyers. These are the same two that were doing the case in regards to Nico Iamaleava. And Cam Norris, he beat Taylor Askew. I think he's going to beat him again. But we're going to have to see, because I will say this about this judge today. He was not biased whatsoever. He was grilling both of them. And I think that's great, because people automatically think, oh, hell, he's in Knox County. The judge, he's an alumni. He's a season ticket holder. Yeah, even though he's going against this guy. And what's so crazy is at the end of the court case, I want to say the Taylor Askew turned around to Joey Aguilar and was like, hey, man, we really appreciate your time and your effort, playing at Tennessee and stuff like that. It was like Fanboy came out just for a second. His fandom came out because he loves Joey Aguilar. I know he does. But he has a job to do. But I'm glad the judge was fair, firm, getting to the point, trying to get the best out of both lawyers so that he can make his decision. And I'm good either way. I'm good either way. Because opportunities are minimum in this game of football, and you want to be able to have that opportunity. You want to make the best of that opportunity when you get it. And GMAC has been there. This will be his second year. The team loves him. He's a leader. Hey, look, took his team down there to Florida, to pass around the pigskin. But he's already in his mind thinking, hey, I'm preparing myself to be the starter this year. That's it. Plain and simple. That's what I'm trying to be. Nothing else. And I love that about GMAC. So we'll see what happens when his time comes. And if it's this year, I feel confident. I feel confident with GMAC. I really do. I don't know how y'all feel about GMAC, but I feel confident. Yeah, Joey Aguilar comes back. Yeah, second season in this system at that position. Of course, sky's the limit. The defense, Jim Knowles, bringing in key players as he should, bringing in key coaches as he should that he's worked with. Those are his guys. I feel confident about the defense. But you got to buy in. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be some days you're probably going to want to quit, give up. And then there's going to be some days where you're going to be like, you know what? I needed this. Because that new strength and conditioning coach, I don't know if y'all seen the videos. He is putting in, he's got those guys putting in work. Plenty of work. I mean, I love it. There's a couple of players that were like, man, this is what is needed. You have some players that need that motivation. They need that push. They need that kick in the butt, to really make a difference on that field. And it's going to show. If you have a bad strength and conditioning coach, it's going to show. You're going to have a lot of injuries. Your mental toughness won't be tough. You'll give up in the middle of the game, if not towards the end of the game. But when you have a great strength and conditioning coach, it's going to take you places. You're going to be successful. You're going to be keyed in to any and everything that goes on the field and off the field. And that's what you need. And I think Josh Heupel recognizes that because this is going to be 6 years. It's going to be 6 years. And I know you have people that say, hey, man, he's not the guy. He needs to get out of here. His time is up. And then you have some people that say, hey, trust the process. It's not like, we've been dumpster juice like we used to be. He's trying to make it work. But he as well needs to evolve, needs to continue to tweak that system that he runs. Because a lot of people caught up to it. And I've said it before. This past season, he had a couple of wrinkles here and there. But then he'll go back to what? The same old, same old. It's like Rocky Balboa. And I mentioned this before. Remember, Rocky was just a guy that just come in your face, didn't care if he got punched 100 times, but he's still going to come after you, right? And then he got with Apollo Creed. And Apollo Creed taught him how to dance, duck and move, bob and weave. And he whooped out Clubber Lang, right? But then he faced the Russian. And for the first round or two, he had Apollo Creed in him. And then what did he do? He reverted back to Rocky Balboa. Then what happened? Man had brain damage. Cold sweats. Boy was taking a shower. Hell, he was shaking. Then he get home and he got flashes of everything. Yeah. That's what Josh Heupel does. He'll tweak something. He'll have crossing routes, drag routes. Oh, man. He be doing all kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, he'll become Rocky Balboa. Next thing you know, he just spreading them out. Man, just go run a route. I don't know what you're going to do. There ain't no trickery whatsoever. Nothing. So he definitely has to evolve in that for this to be a successful season coming up, because the schedule is harder now than ever before. Yeah. Ain't no more powder puffs. Each and every week, you got to put your best foot forward. The intensity is going to be at an all-time high, like never seen before in the SEC. Because a lot of these teams are coming up, and they're coming up quick. There's not going to be one of those take a week off situations. Definitely the way they're setting up the schedules now. Nah, it ain't going to be any of that anymore. Except for Kentucky. That's about it. Yeah, Yeah, they got a new coach. Yeah. So what? They got a quarterback. Okay. Yeah, they got a couple dudes from Tennessee. One, I think. Lance Hurd. Yeah. That ain't going to matter whatsoever. We still Kentucky's daddy at the end of the day. At the end of the day. What we got going on? Andre Sutton, Joey going to lose, and I'm glad. Everybody's schedule is hard. Hell yeah, everybody's schedule is hard. Everybody's schedule is hard. Man, you just don't like Joey, man. God. Man. What is it about Joey you don't like, Andre? What is it? Is it you don't think he's a proficient quarterback? Too many interceptions last year? Because he is the first to go over 5 interceptions last year. Or is it that you feel like his time is up? He's old. It's just up, and you ready to move on to the youngsters? Because let's be honest here, he ain't had but one youngster, and that was who? Nico. Everybody else been grown men in that system. So I'm very intrigued to see if G-Mac starts. I'm very intrigued to see how G-Mac handles it, because I've seen him in high school. He looks good. He can throw the deep ball. He got wheels too. Don't let it fool you. He has wheels. He's too old to turn over. He's too old and a turnover machine. Okay. I mean, hey, it is what it is. So that's just, hey, I can't really argue with that. You feel like he's too old, turnover machine. But that's the first year. Understand. I do have to bag him up on this one just a little bit. He came in May. What do you say? This ain't no Epstein Island home team. Not the Epstein Island, man. We can't do. We ain't doing no Epstein Island on here, man. They might come investigate me. Hell no. But yeah, he didn't come until May, and for him to even learn the system, I give him kudos for that. For real. But yeah, so I mean, look, it's one of those things where, I had to give him grace just a little bit, because, that's what it is. I'm just saying, play people your age. Yeah, I mean, we could say that, but look at Chris Winkie. Chris Winkie played baseball. Yeah, I know, different sport. But he came back at what, 27, 28 and won a national championship with Florida State? Would you feel the same if Joey was in that predicament like Chris Winkie was back in the day? Would you feel the same way if he came to Tennessee 27, 28? That's the thing. It happened. So that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, if Joey wins another year, it's that Tiffany. Joey's going to win another year. Hey, if he does, he does. I would not be mad at it. Either way, I would not be upset at the decision. We got guys that are ready. And if Joey comes back, he's ready. So either way, I feel like it'll be a win-win for the University of Tennessee. So, yeah, he didn't. Yeah, Chris Winkie didn't go to college, but he was old. He's supposed to be playing with his people. I'm just saying, he was that age too. You know what I mean? So I believe Joe will be back for this season, especially with now the NCAA lawyer argued the case. Yeah. You could kind of tell he was losing his way during that court proceeding. It looked like he was losing his way towards the end there. So we'll see. We will definitely see. But I'm very confident, man. Either way, I'm very confident for Tennessee. Either way, he will. Players get 4 years of Division I football. Legit, 100% identical case to Pavia. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I talked about earlier. I talked about Pavia, where they gave him the eligibility, and of course they were supposed to decide and work on that for a whole year and a half, and they still didn't come to a conclusion. And that's the thing about the NCAA; they keep dragging their feet. But yeah, junior college, and I keep saying this, JUCO shouldn't count. JUCO should not count towards NCAA eligibility. I've said it before, they're two different entities. That's it. They're two different entities. Two different. So it shouldn't even count. And if it doesn't, and for me, if it doesn't count, then yeah, he has one more year of eligibility. That's it. But nobody never argued about that until Diego Pavia. That's why NCAA was able to get away with it for so many years. It became the norm. If somebody tell you a lie so many times, after a while, they're going to believe it, and you're going to believe it. Especially if you don't know what they're talking about, or if you don't have no clue. That's just it. So yeah, he should have one more. He should. Now, dude at Alabama, he should have never played. He actually signed a deal with the NBA, whether it was the NBA, whether it was the NBA G League, and you were gone for 3 years. And just somehow, they just let you come back and play because you wasn't that good in the G League. Now, that should have never happened. That's one of those cases where I was like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Man, go play overseas or something. What you want to come back to school for? Damn, Van Wilder, what are you doing? Said this will hurt recruiting in the Nashville area. Nashville putting out 5-star quarterbacks like crazy. I don't know, because we still were able to get, 27, 28 high schoolers in key positions, including quarterback. We just had another quarterback commit, Derek Baker from Milton, Georgia, Milton High School in Alpharetta. I'm sorry. So they're already preparing themselves. Like, I think Tennessee does it well in regards to that. Transfer portal, still continue to get high school recruits. It seems to me they make the high school recruits a main priority, and they get who they need to get. And then if there's other areas that got holes or they're leaking, and then, yeah, you go to the transfer portal. I mean, that's what it's going to be. That's not going to change. That's just what it is. It's never going to change. Can they make it better? Yeah. Will it get worse? Possibly. It just depends. Well, JUCO counts people trying to bend the rules. Cam Newton spent a year in JUCO and it counted. Yeah, he did. But as I stated before, JUCO should never count towards the eligibility of the NCAA. They're the NJCAA. They're not the NCAA. They're not FBS. They're not FCS. They're not Division II. They're not Division III. They're not under that umbrella. They're under their own umbrella. JUCO to me is like going to community college. That's just what it is. It's like going to Chattanooga State. That's what it is. And what's crazy is that the ones that went to Chat State, when they went to where UTC or wherever, they still counted that. And that shouldn't have been counted, playing at Chat State. It was the same situation. That should not be counted. That's why I keep saying, why are we having this argument? Because the NCAA still wants to have that little bit of power left, and they feel it slipping away. But minute by minute, week by week, month by month, year by year, they trying to hold on whatever they have left. Because remember back in the day, you couldn't do anything. I don't even think you could pee on the corner. That's a violation. You're suspended. You can't play this year. That's just how it was with the NCAA back in the day. I have a cousin that worked with the NCAA, did interns. He used to show me stuff. If you just give him $5 because he's hungry, he wants something to eat, he can't do it. There's no way. It used to be just the simplest stuff. Man, that man showed me some of the rules. It was dumb. It was like, you come to school, you play, but you make the school money, you make the coaches money, but you can't reap that. That's crazy. That's crazy. NCAA's have a chokehold on this industry. And some of it was, warranted, and some of it wasn't at all. So I'm not mad at if you want your eligibility fine, just go about it the right way. That's it. If it's where they just, like I said, they just gonna have to lock it down somehow, some way. Charlie Bulldog Hunter. Yeah. That's crazy. Expect JUCO isn't under NCAA control or authority. It would literally like applying for a job at McDonald's and being denied because you previously worked for Burger King or Wendy's. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I know you know the law. I mean, I don't have, hey, look, I'm not saying you don't know the law. I'm not saying that whatsoever. But I'm just giving you my opinion on what I feel like what it shouldn't be. You feel one way, I feel one way, and that's fair. But at the end of the day, this is where we're going. And we can talk, like you said, we can talk about this until we turn purple. But this is what it is now. This is not, I reiterated this before, this is not your mom and pops, grandpa, all that stuff. This ain't the same college football. I still enjoy watching it. It's not going to keep me from watching it. It's just not. But I get it. You feel the way you feel, and that's fine. I ain't got no issues with that. I have no issues with that. Like I said, if he becomes eligible, fine. If he doesn't, all right, let's move forward. Let's go win with GMAC. Let's go win with Faison. Let's go win with. I don't know about Ryan Staub yet. He's still up for debate. Ryan Staub, I don't know. What's a terrible example? Which one? Are you talking about what my example or the McDonald's Burger King one? Tucker Greer, what's going on? All right, that good old boy system, it's still relevant. It's still there. Oh, the McDonald's Burger King junk. But yeah, man. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I said, probably gonna get nothing until next week. It just, for all this to be resolved, if it ever is resolved, they still want to, add more teams to the playoffs for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, you got to be consistent. You got to be consistent. The NCAA has to be consistent. They too have not been consistent in years past. So what are we doing? So to your question, Andre, it looks like in regards to baseball, that's where it's prevalent, where players are eligible for the Major League Baseball draft annually. But they said that while rare in sports like the NFL, JUCO serves as a primary development path for late bloomers to transfer to the NCAA or NCAA Division I schools and subsequently turn professional. So it looks like, they don't, trying to see if there's anybody that has made that move from JUCO to the pros. I don't see it. They do mention a guy by the name of Eric Swan, but I don't know his story. Never heard of him. So I'm not sure if they can. Hey, man, 7 years, look. Shoot, yeah. Hey, you know who tried that? Who tried that? No, Maurice Clarett tried it. He tried to do it his freshman season. He tried to do it at this freshman season. They didn't let him do that. I remember that. Yeah, and then somebody else I think tried to do it too, and I can't remember his name, but I think he truly messed up his career. And I think it was a wide receiver. I don't know if his name was Mike Williams. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I know Maurice Clarett tried to do it after his freshman season, and they was like, "Nah, you can't do it whatsoever." Now you know, man, go on. Now look, that's a whole different monster. That's a whole different monster. Coming out of high school, going to the pros. Come on now. Come on now. You know that man get folded up. Yeah, Mike Williams from USC. Yep. You know they'll get folded up in them pros. That body ain't ready yet. It ain't ready for it yet. Unless you Jeremiah Smith. Unless you him. Unless you Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. That's a man right there. That's a man. It really is. Jeremiah Smith he's the truth. Now, I could have saw him coming out of high school going to the pros. I really could have. Yeah, I mean, we do. I talk about it. We do got NFL players, and you know, are they? Are they NFL players? Could that be the reason why they're staying in school? Maybe. Or maybe they just love playing college. Who knows? There's just a whole bunch of scenarios. But now it's more prevalent than ever. Why? Because you're going to get paid. It's money out here now. Do I think Joey Aguilar would have played another season if money wasn't involved? No, I don't think so. Would you think Diego Pavia would have played if NIL and money wasn't involved? No, I don't think so. Even though, yeah, we know back in the day, yeah, you got paid under the table. You know, people still getting paid and all that good stuff. But legally now, I can get me a couple of million. Yeah, I'm coming back to school. Yeah, I'm going to try to get eligibility so I can come back to school and get this money. If Joey comes back, he has what? $2 million on the table as we speak. He already made $1 million this past season. He got $2 million. Now, if that doesn't work out for him, fine. He can go be a fireman like he was going to do before he was about to give up playing football. No, he hurt himself after the Heisman Trophy when he lost. I'm talking about crybaby, sore loser. You mad at Indiana? F Indiana for what? What Indiana do to you? You mad at Heisman Dozer? You mad at Heisman Dozer? You mad at him? That's just shoot, his best bet. Man, he better be a running back. That's it. Oh, they think I'm a troll. No, I'm gonna tell y'all now. So, Andre Sutton is not a troll. We went to school together. We went to high school together. He's from the same parts that I'm from. We know the same people. He's not a troll. He's not. Johnny Majors is his guy. That's his guy. That is his guy. Johnny Majors. He cares less about anybody else, but he love him some Johnny Majors. I'm going to tell you that right now. He love him. Yeah, they did. They got blown out by Iowa. Yeah, they got whooped. Yeah, now look, we play Iowa. We do this to Iowa. We take care of Iowa just like this. Vandy play Iowa. No, it ain't the same. It ain't the same, Charlie. It ain't the same. We gave Iowa the business twice. Shut them out one time with Nico and them, and then blew them out with Joshua Dobbs and them. Yeah, blow them out. Get them out of here. They ain't ready for this. Get them out of here. But yeah, Andre Sutton, man, he ain't no troll, man. That's homie. That's the homie right there. That's the homie. You know, he just passionate. He passionate about them volunteers. You know what I mean? He very passionate. Yeah, I saw you. I saw you on Boy, I saw you on Talking Vols the other night. I was dying laughing. I was crying. I was like, boy, I said, they just don't know. I said, that man ain't no troll. They thought you was a troll on them, man. Oh, that was funny. That was funny. Yeah, that was hilarious. Oh, man, it was crazy. They were paying to get you up off of them. That's crazy. They were paying to get you off of them. Boy, oh boy. But yeah, man, basketball season is still here. I don't know what the Lady Vols are going to do. I miss those days of those Lady Vols winning national championships. I know those days are long gone. Hopefully Caldwell can get them back. But I was talking the other day about Caldwell, and I said this is the one thing about these young gals that she has that were top 5 with top 10 recruiting class. Most of those people, most of those women, most of those girls, they they used to winning in high school. They used to winning championships. They used to winning Player of the Year awards. They used to winning all those things. Just like Caldwell. I looked at her record as a coach. Phenomenal. Was at Division II at Granville State, winning national championships, then going to Marshall, turning that program around for one season, winning the Sun Belt Conference, winning Sun Belt Coach of the Year, taking them to the NCAA tournament. Man, what I'm telling you is this. Sometimes, and this goes with the players and the coach, it goes hand in hand. What are you going to do when adversity hits you? Because you've been so used to winning. You've not been used to losing. And if you did lose, you didn't lose by much. But when you get sprung on 2 out of the last 4 games by not only the number 1 ranked undefeated UConn Huskies, which you played pretty well the first half, and against the South Carolina Lady Gamecocks, yeah, that adversity hit real quick. And what happens? Your emotions get involved. And then what happens? You go out there and you say what? Yeah, my team is full of quitters. Now, I know they asked Don Staley a question, and Don Staley was like, well, if that was my team, I probably would have kept it in the back. I wouldn't have put them out there like that. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if she did before in the past. I ain't gonna say she necessarily said they're quitters, but she said some things about her team, but it happens in the heat of the moment. That's just what it is. Their emotions, they get the best of you. That's gotten the best of all of us on here right now. We said some things that either we didn't mean or we did mean. And if we meant it, we stood on it. That was it. Plain and simple. Let me see. The funny part is I'm a Hawkeyes fan because my mom's side of the family is from Iowa, and I'm also a Tennessee Vols fan because I grew up and live in Tennessee. Wow. So did you, Charlie Bulldog, who did you ever go for? Or did you stay neutral in those games? Don't think these modern girls are a good fit for Caldwell. They are too soft. Joey Pinion, 4660. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a flu bug that's going around in all sports, it seems to me. Seems like this is the era that we in, yeah? Or do we still have some dogs? We do. But it seems that what you just said, it seems like it's going around in all sports, unfortunately. I'm happy the Tennessee Lady Vols beat the previous head coach. Okay. Tennessee needs a shooting coach bad. They hard to look at. Why are people mad at her for saying what everyone who watches them sees? Hey, I got a video that I put out. A video about 2 videos ago. I talked about that. And I literally said what you just said. I said, she didn't have to tell us. We saw it with our own eyes. And I got a lot of blowback on that. I really did. I got a lot of blowback. Should I have somebody call me a fool? Yeah, yeah, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? But, I mean, we saw it. We saw it with our own eyes against South Carolina. So it ain't she ain't have to tell us. We could have said that. I think everybody was just mad because, you shouldn't say those things. Remember when Jeremy Pruitt grabbed, what's my man's name? Guantanamo. How about to call Garantano? Damn, I'm about to call him Guantanamo. Shit. Garantano. Remember when he grabbed his face mask? I said that's there. And a lot of people had an issue with it. That's what it was back in the day. Yeah, you got your face mask yanked. Whether it was in practice or on national television. That's what happened. But, we in that era now. Don't leave no kids behind. What else? You can't beat your kids. You can't do that. Can't whoop them. Can't do that. You got to put them in timeout. That's what it is right now, unfortunately. Tennessee needs a shooting coach bad. I don't know if they need a shooting coach bad. I think they need shooters. Because last year, this same system was applied. And they did really well shooting the ball. They did really well defending. Understand, they didn't lose. They only lost, one? I think they lost by 3 to South Carolina one game. And they lost by 1 point to South Carolina. Well, that devastating game that they lost when old girl ain't hit a 3 in forever. That went to Hamilton Heights in chat. She hit that 3. But besides that, they beat UConn, who was the eventual national champion. So they played pretty well. Made it to the Sweet 16, almost made it to the Elite 8. I think they don't have shooters. And I don't think they have true defenders that can work with that system, because you got to have those too. Because if you want to press, you got to be able to defend. Because even in that Missouri game, when I watched a little bit of that Missouri game, when you press like that, eventually somebody going to be open. And they were doing it was just, you got to be disciplined if you're going to play that type of defense. You just have to be. Let other people press. Don't overpress, or you're going to get caught. Backdoor, layup, easy buckets. So I think they just need shooters and defenders, and they don't have that right now. Talking Vols dude Boogie wants everybody to toot his horn, calling me a troll. That fool just don't know. Hey, man, let me tell you. Hold on. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, Andre. Let me see. We got hit in the helmet so hard we probably get concussions. Man, listen. Our D-line coach was ex-drill instructor. He got super rough with us, but we are stronger for it today. Yeah, I'm saying them old school back in the day, man, please, made you tough. It made you tough. Discipline-wise, like you really put, you really, it made you a man real quick. It made you a man real quick. But back to you, Andre. So I know dude. I know him personally. And I hung out with him 2 spring games ago, right? And we talking about, Boogie Bentley. And I hit him up. I hit him up the other day, and I said, hey, man. I said, Andre ain't no troll. I said, man, I know him. I said, that's my guy. I said, we went to school together. This, that, and the third. You know what I mean? And I was just laughing the whole time. I was like, boy, he's like, man, I'll just, he didn't say nothing crazy or nothing like that. But he was just talking about the other people in the group that was, trying to, they were like, oh man, dude, the troll or whatever. And I'm like, no, he ain't no troll. He is not. He's just passionate about his people. I'll say this. And, I rock with Boogie. I rock with Talking Vols. I rock with some other, podcasters out there or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because there was a time in my life where, kind of get personal here for a minute. There was a time in my life where I went through some mental issues. Bad, real bad. About 2 years ago, around November of 2023. And in December, I had an episode, and it just shook me. It rocked me. And mentally, I was not there. I had a lot of long nights, bad nights. And Talking Vols was one of the podcasts, one of the channels that I started looking at because I needed something else to get my mind off what my mind was on. Because I was the guy that at one point I was doing what I normally do, but nobody was behind the wheel. Yeah, I will still go to work. But in my mind, I'm like, well, hell, how did I get to work? I remember going home one time for the holidays to go see my parents. How did I get down there? Like, because the whole time I'm driving, my mind is doing this. Terrible thoughts. Fucked up. Excuse my language. But it was bad. And it was bad it took me about 6 to 8 months to get somewhat of normalcy in regards to my mental health. So I watched his show. I watched another show, but that's what kept me going. It was so bad at one point that I didn't even want to go to sleep at night because that's when my episode would occur. I would stay up as long as I could to when I did go to sleep. I hope that when I do wake up, it's daytime. It is not nighttime, because if I wake up during the night, 3, 4 in the morning, it just start hitting me. And that shit was scary, bro. Like, I never thought I would be in that position whatsoever. I know other people that have been in that position. I've known other people that have taken their life. I know people personally that have taken their life. And all I could think about was that. You know what I'm saying? I got a family. It was a point where I told my family, hey, don't come around me. You know, so yeah, I watched those shows. And those shows helped me. Just seeing, just talking about, or watching people talk about volunteer football or baseball or basketball or whatever, that helped me through. And there's some other things, talking about it like I am right now, So yeah, but it was rough. It was rough for me for a while. It really was. But luckily, I was able to pull through it. And then one day I was like, hey, I wanted to start my own channel. I said, hell, I talk about it all the time. I said, why not? You know what I mean? So, and at first I started out talking about, different sports. The Super Bowl with the Chiefs and the Eagles was my first thing. One of my first times I started doing the channel. I think a couple of trades in the NBA. And then all of a sudden I started talking about volunteer baseball. But shit, they play too many damn games. And I was like, hell no. I'm not covering all that. They got that. I'll cover when they get to the SEC tournament, or if they win like a major game or something during the regular season. And of course the NCAA tournament. And then boom, started talking about Tennessee football, started talking about recruiting, started talking about, everything that goes on with Tennessee football. So that's how I got here. And I love it. I love everybody, man. Like, I appreciate, all the support. I appreciate, everybody that comment, everybody even right here, right now, today, tonight, watching this live. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, they did have a baseball game today. They won 10-0. They beat Nicholls State. Easy. It was a run rule in the 8th. So they beat them 10-0. They play him again tomorrow. Reese Chapman, of course, he does what he does. I think he was like 2 for 2 with what? I think he was 2 for 2. I think he had 2 runs. If I'm not mistaken, he brought in 2 runs. Yeah. So he's 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs, if I'm not mistaken. And then the pitching looked phenomenal. So yeah, man. Anybody, man, hey, look, if anybody went through anything, man, look, hey, get help. Best thing to do, talk about it. Hopefully you have a base that can help you with all that shit, because, man, that shit terrible. It's the worst thing going. I couldn't imagine, man. Listen, I get it now. Because I used to be that guy, be like, man, how they be going through stuff? Shit, go through it. You'll see. But anyway, enough of my story. Man, let's get back to it. So, and then the men's team. Hey, look, man. The men's basketball team, they just got 2 people. Nate Emmett and Jacoby Gillespie. That's it. They ain't got but 2. Now, Nate coming to his own. Yeah, he might leave after this year and go to the league. Seriously. He may not even come back. But these 17-point leads, these 14-point leads, these 20-point leads, you lost 2 of them, and then you almost let them come back last night. Well, I don't understand. It's like they get comfortable. They get complacent. They do all these things and then almost lose. Now, you can't do that. There's no way we should have lost to Kentucky twice. There's no way. And I got a homeboy that's a Kentucky fan. And this is it. I get all this in my ear. That's it. About how much we suck. Y'all terrible. He even think his own team terrible. He like, I don't know how we beat you. We're trash. You are. But that's okay. If we play in the SEC tournament, we're probably going to beat you. If we play you in the NCAA tournament, we're probably going to beat you. So I'm not even worried about that. You have your 2 little regular season games. That's fine. But we gotta stop doing this. It's not a good look. Because the Tennessee teams of old, if we're up by 17, 14, 20, guess what? We're going to beat you by 25. We're going to beat you by 30. And we probably going to still beat you by 20. But you're not making no run. You're not coming back. That's not happening. Said, man, we need to save the $2 million from Joey and pay DGG $8 million like they did Nico. Shoot, DGG, man, I ain't paying him $8 million. I'm not paying DGG $8 million. He a bad man. He a bad man. Man, they got money. Don't worry about it. They got money. I saw they moved the cap space from what, 20.5 million to 21.3 million, if I'm not mistaken. That's the quote unquote cap space that every team's supposed to have. But if you Texas Tech and you're Ohio State or somebody, yeah, you can pay 40 million. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing about it. I don't know. But I give DGG gonna get paid nice. DGG, he's going to get paid really well. You're going to have to open the bank up. Why? Because you made the decision not to get a running back this year. Or you tried to put your chips in the Savion Hyder, and that didn't work. I knew he wasn't coming to Tennessee. I knew he wasn't coming. Nah, he wasn't coming to Tennessee. He want to be the man. He don't want to be just a man along with other men. He want to be the man. Nah. But if you got Deshaun Bishop leaving, the Gordon guy out of Tulane, not sure what that looks like. I know he got a couple years ahead of him. Of course, DeJuan Morris, Justin Baker. I can see Justin Baker going into the transfer portal next season. I can see that happening. But of course, Deshaun Bishop going to be your number one. Gordon or Morris. I want to say I'm going to go Morris will be number 2 running back, and then it's going to be between Gordon and Baker whether who's going to be the third running back. I believe. But yeah, for DGG, yeah, I'll say pay him $8 million big. No, I don't think $8 million. I give him. I don't know. I give him 6. But I mean, like you said, they gave Nico 8. And you know, and you see what happened with that investment. Yeah, why not? Why not? Because we've seen DGG. A man. That's a man playing amongst boys. He is the truth. So yeah, I'll give him the 8. I agree with that. I'll give him the $8 million. Yeah. Yeah, Joey. Yeah, you ain't the only one that don't want Joey back. You're not the only one. You're not the only one. School sliding money under the table with the contract, probably. Oh yeah, you know that's still going on. That's still a thing. That's never going to go away. You already know that's that extra. That's that endorsement money. Yeah, that's that endorsement money. And I ain't talking about, you know, they signed up to the Moonshine Cookie Company, or, you know, they got a contract over here. No, I'm talking about, hey man, we love what you did yesterday. We appreciate you. LSU and Lane Kiffin and the Texas Longhorns and Texas Tech have spent close to 30. Yep. That's what I just said. I said, yeah, 40 million. Easy. Well, you know, down there in Texas, you know, that's oil money down there. So I don't want T-Lander back either. But guess what? T-Lander ain't going to play. T-Lander about to get a clipboard. That's what he's about to do. T-Lander's about to get that clipboard next year. Yeah. Well, just wait and see. You think Jim knows? Let's be realistic here. We've seen Jim Knowles' defenses, right? He is not going to be a linebacker in that system. He is not. I like T-Lander, but not at linebacker. Shoot, where else he going to play? That's the problem. He's too slow. That's the problem. Where else can he go? He can't play on the D-line. He definitely can't play in the second. That's why I said clipboard. Clipboard T-Lander. Yeah. And hey, look, the Vols fan base appreciate your service. You've done well. We appreciate you, sir. No disrespect. We thank you for everything that you've done for the Volunteer Nation and for the volunteer program. Hey, you have given your all. That's it. You've given your all. T-Lander could go to UTC. Yo, that's tough. Damn, not UTC. Damn. Hey. I mean, I think he could play in if he puts on another 20 pounds. Shit. Man, them feet not gonna get them 20 pounds though. them feet not gonna get 20 RPMs more. They're just not. That's the only issue. I mean, hey, Joey, look, I get it, but we got to put some more RPMs on them toes. We got to take that governor off them feet, man. He got a governor on them toes, man. You can't. Oh my God, this doesn't work. It doesn't work. See, but the NCAA hasn't gone after Texas or LSU for spending way over the $20 million cap, which I believe is in for all programs. It is. So it's $20.5 million. They've actually moved it up now to what? I mean, they moved it up to 21.3, think $21.5 million now. So we'll see. Hopeful new strength coach finds him some RPMs. Hey, the way they've been running out there, he might. Look, if you keep doing it, you'll get better. Look, I remember I couldn't dunk a basketball for a long time when I was a kid. And then my junior year, and all I did, I just kept jumping every single day on the basketball court. I just kept doing it. And then one day I'm playing basketball and the ball come off the rim and I jump up and I catch it and I slam it and it shocked me. Yeah, it can happen, but we'll see. They're going to have to get him on that treadmill and put him up to about 20 miles an hour. Shoot, you can't teach speed. Yeah. I don't know. Well, if they started him early in life, he probably could have had it. He probably could have had the speed. But I don't think, you can't teach speed. I don't know. What's your thoughts on how much of an improvement it will be on the players? Let's see. What's your thoughts on how much of improvement it will be on the players in regards to? Are you talking about the new strength coach? It will do well. It'll be good. It's going to do great things because I think the strength and conditioning coach that was there last year, you can see it. You can see it on the field. Like even the first game, the Syracuse game, I went to that game and you could tell. Like, yeah, Syracuse was trash. They were no good. But there were moments in that game where it was like the mental aspect of it. Like you were giving up too many 3rd and 12s, 4th and 12s. And that's play calling too. But I think with strength and conditioning, that coach is very important. You know, it can get you to a point where physically you're better than what you've ever been. Mentally, you're better than what you've ever been. And I think that's what makes a team be successful. Yeah, the coach is the coach. Yes, he's the X's and O's, the defensive staff, coach staff, all that. Great. Yeah, we know that. That's who gets the accolades. We understand that when the team is winning or whether they're losing, the coach is going to get whatever he gets. Nobody talks about, well, shit, damn, Tennessee took an ass whooping and strength and conditioning coach, man, he just didn't do well today. Nobody ain't studying him, but he's the wild card. He's the one that preps these guys. He's the guy that these players see more than they see the coach himself. All season, during the season, that's who they're with, as you can see. My man left from Indiana after winning the national championship, got on the plane the next day, boom, he's in Knoxville, boom, they already working. No days off. And I keep hearing they had puke buckets and everything all over the place. Whether that's true or not, it probably is, because you're coming from something that you were used to something totally different, and he's making you. It's basically no gas, no what they say, all gas and no brakes from the beginning. But I think it's going to do them well. I think it's going to get them stronger. They're not going to get pushed off that line like they were doing this year. That D-line was in 2024 D-line. This D-line, yeah, we lost a lot of talent. We lost a lot of big guys in that middle, but you was just getting dominated on that line, on the line of scrimmage. So, yeah, I think this is going to work well with them. Is now we're going to get that part situated. Now we got to get the scheme of Jim Knowles because we've been used to Tim Banks. Now we got to figure out, okay, what does this scheme look like? How do I fit into this scheme? Am I going to be successful in this scheme? That's just it. Okay. So you've seen a few players that played last year and they already look stronger. Yeah, I bet. That man looked business, and his homeboys that he brought with him, shit, they look like business too. Have you looked at T-Lander on the field? It's sad and frustrating for him to be out there. T-Lander was the whole problem with our defense. Yeah, I saw it, especially when we played Vandy. Shit, that man, yeah, Diego did us in, and I hate that. I wish we could play him again and give him everything he needs. Now we gave it to him that first time we played him, but we need to really just tear him up. But he ain't gonna be there this year, so it is what it is. It was just T-Lander. DBs couldn't tackle for nothing. Nobody couldn't tackle. Nobody couldn't tackle last year. Shit, it looked bad as hell. I think he mostly had 2 and 3 stars at Indiana and maybe a couple of 4 stars to work with as Indiana strength coach. But Tennessee has a lot of 3 and 4 and some 5 stars, if I remember off my. Yeah, they do. It's the same thing. Yeah, Ty Redmond did. But trial by fire with Ty Redmond. But back to Charlie Bulldog. A lot of those, Andre gonna like this one. A lot of those Indiana players are old as hell too. Hey man, I think they were like 23, 24, 25, something like that. Oh, they were old as hell too, man. They was old. They went undefeated and won national championship too with them old heads. Yeah, Ty Redmond. I was so upset with Tim Banks. Oh my God, I was so pissed at Tim Banks last year. In that Georgia game, Ty Redmond had no business being on the island by himself. No safety help, nothing. Nothing. He just left him out there to get torched. And I just kept saying to myself, why are you continuing to do this? Why? You know, and they try to give Tim Banks a lot of credit. I don't. And I'm going to tell you why I don't. Because, yes, 2021, we were what, 90th overall in each year. Each year, you know, he went down, he got better. Especially our college playoff year. And then, of course, last year it fell right back off. We were right back to 2021, but it seemed like it was a lot worse than 2021. Why? Because in 2021, we lost a lot of players in the portal, 30 plus. We didn't lose that many. We lost people that were, well, yeah, Jamar McCoy was out, Ricky Gibson was out, Jacoby Thomas went to Miami. Okay, that's how you want to look at it. D-line, yes, we lost a lot of folks. I get it. But it ain't about that. His play calling was atrocious. Atrocious. I think of, and I've said this before, I think of Russell Westbrook, right? Russell Westbrook, triple-double king, all those great things. But his teams go 15 and 58. Everybody want to look at the highlights. No, look at the whole game. And then you're going to see why they don't win. Because you don't never look at the turnovers he makes. You don't never look at the bad shots that he takes. You just go by, damn, he did triple-double. He's doing it every night. But it's not helping his team win games. That's what I say about Tim Banks. We can look at all those stats, and we can see here how, last year they was the top 10, or they was 22nd the year before that, or they was 30th the year before that. Yeah, that's fine. But then those games that when for some reason we go against the Georgia Bulldogs of the world or the Alabamas of the world or, teams of that nature, that man goes away from whatever he goes away from. And be leaving folks out there just on the island like, yeah, whatever. Like, that Alabama game was the worst. I mean, what was it that time? 3rd and 2? Alabama was in their own, 15, I think, yard line? And the linebackers dropped back? And all my man had to do was just come around the offensive line, boom. What was that? What was that? He could have. I don't know why he didn't. I don't know why he didn't run Tampa 2. Yeah, look, yeah. Yeah, Indiana old hell, dog. They was old. Oh my God. They was old, but hey, even an old team sometimes can't win. They were disciplined. Signetti is a assassin. He really is. He's a good coach. They were just disciplined, man. They play for each other. So that's very important too, because sometimes you have old heads on the team, they don't play for each other. They playing for the NFL. They're playing for a check. They don't care about the team. And that's why, those type of teams lose. But you see it in basketball too. When people be shocked that the number 1 seed lost or, the number 2 seed lost, hell, they playing a team that have played with each other for 5 years. Those one and done schools, nah, they don't get those wins like they used to. No one and done schools get beat. My man ready to go to the league already. He thought about that when he stepped foot on the court, first game of the season. And next thing you know, they go against some team called Loyola Chicago. And they get ousted out of the damn tournament. They get beat by Loyola Chicago. Same way with VCU back in the day. Man, them dudes were playing each other forever. Belmont that one season. Sometimes experience would kill a team full of 5 stars that are freshmen. It just happens. I don't know how good Indiana will be next year with Mendoza gone to the NFL and a few other players. Look, I think Indiana's going to be fine. The quarterback that they brought in there, Hoover, if I'm not mistaken, Josh Hoover, he's decent. But, remember the year before that, I forgot the name of the quarterback that he had. They still ended up making it to the college football playoffs, but he wasn't Mendoza. That was a difference. He couldn't really make those plays that Mendoza can make. So we'll see. But I think they'll be okay. Do they make another college football playoff? Remains to be seen. But he's went 2 years in a row. Literally 2 years in a row. See, when Joey threw that interception, I was done with Joey. When the team dropped 99 yards and I would have fired Banks after the Alabama game. Yeah, that's coaching. That was the coach's fault. Yeah, Joey is to blame too because he threw it on the inside. Should have threw it to the outside. He threw it to the inside. Outside touchdown. But in that situation, man, run the ball. Run. You could at least ran the ball. But yeah, he threw a bad pick. And then the Oklahoma game, oh, Jesus. Oklahoma game, man, he was throwing picks left and right, man. It didn't make no sense. But I think what hurt us in that Oklahoma game, that sack he took. That scoop and score. We were about to go up 14-0. Oklahoma couldn't do nothing about it. But that's when I go back to, look, I understand David Sanders Jr., right? I understand he's your 5-star. I get it. Highly touted. And I know at one point in the season you were going to want to start him. But tell me if I'm wrong about this or not. I felt like when they moved Jesse Perry from that right side, that's where it went downhill for that offensive line. That's how I feel about it. David Sanders, no disrespect, but I felt like before Jesse Perry moved, that offensive line was solid. And as a freshman, you're going to make freshman mistakes, but that was the worst mistake you can make, to not block your man. I don't know why you doubled down to help your man next to you. I didn't get that part. There was no business for that. And it happened. And they blew Joey up. And the momentum changed from that point moving forward. And what did we lose by? 6 points. Scored that touchdown. Who knows what the outcome would have been. But it happened. Oklahoma kick was insane during the Tennessee game. And definitely don't do us any favors. Yeah. I'm going to tell you who else didn't do us any favors. Max Gilbert. He didn't do us any favors either. Hoover isn't a dual threat, is he? I think he is a dual threat. Yeah, he got some wheels on him. I did see his highlights. Yeah, he got wheels on him. He's kind of like Mendoza in a way, as far as wheels are concerned. But yeah, Max Gilbert, oh, Jesus. Well, he transferred. Look, I don't try to get on kids. They're kids still at the end of the day. But boy, when he went into the portal, I was like, yeah. Woo, man, because oh my goodness, his confidence. I remember when he when he was kicking for us last year, not this past season, but the season before. His confidence was good. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what happened to Max Gilbert, man. It's like his confidence just went downhill that 2024 season, and then come out the 2025 season. Jesus, he was missing kicks. But that Georgia game, I blame Hyper for that. I blame Hyper for that Georgia game. And the reason why I blame him, because why would you run the ball 3 straight times? Georgia couldn't stop a nosebleed in the air. They couldn't stop us for nothing at all. And you decide to run the ball 3 straight times. And then a penalty happens. But you kept them on the, what was that? The right hash mark? No, the left hash mark. No, you're supposed to get them right here. You see this right here? That's where it's supposed to be. They ain't supposed to be over here. It's not supposed to be over here because I don't trust them either way. Hell, I don't really trust them here. But damn it, give him this. Who knows what that would have been like? I know what would have happened. If we would have beat Georgia, they'd have been talking about Joey for Heisman. You know they would have, especially that performance he put up in that game. But they would have been talking about Joey for Heisman. But it is what it is. But yeah, I look forward to seeing Ty Redmond. I look forward to seeing these guys that they got from the transfer portal, like Quay Moss and them. I'm very interested to see how these transfers are going to look. I like the fact that, you know, some of these guys that have been in the nose system already will be able to help, you know, others in each one of those positions. So we'll see what happens. No, that's Joey. Joey chose to run the ball against Georgia. But, you know, he gave it to the running back, what, 2-3 times during that drive to start Thomas? Like, Joey should have. But see, I think that's what Joey was going to do on that. Remember that third down when they got called for the penalty, because it was still third down when Umarov had moved. And I think Joey was going to run it then, but I felt like he shouldn't have kicked it right then because I think he still had a timeout. He should have let Joey run it into the middle and then set it up. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say we still had a down left that he could have took and a timeout. I noticed Joey can't read coverage like that. Well, you know, he was always known as a gunslinger. Is the new kicker Tennessee guy from Louisville going to be any good, or Max Gilbert 2.0? We just got to wait and see on him. I mean, yeah, they had that video where he kicked like a 60-something yarder, and no, I need to see game. I need to see what you look like in the game. Now, I saw his stats at Louisville. They weren't bad at all. They were better than Max. But we're going to have to see. Just got to wait and see on that one. Hopefully he is. But at the same time, we can't allow ourselves to get in that position either. We got to take it to it. Hey, if we get a lead, we got to stay on that lead. We can't keep – what happened to the Josh Heupel load, man? What happened to the 2021, 2022 Josh Heupel? What happened to him? You know that guy used to put the foot on your neck. That's why Dorkowitz from Missouri was so mad, because we were putting up 60 points. We were putting 60 burgers on him. Easy. And he hated that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he just let off the gas. And now he playing not to lose. Like, no. Drill him. I like G-Mac better than Joey for real. Hey, G-Mac good. G-Mac good. I believe in G-Mac. I think he's going to be great for that position. But we'll find out. I know you don't want Joey to come back. I know my man Joey Pinion don't want him back. Hey, it is what it is. So we don't have that dual threat like that. You know what? That's what we need, though. You know, we need that Hendon Hooker-esque quarterback that can not only throw the ball, be accurate, run when he needs to. Because let's not get it twisted. That 2022 offensive line, even though we had Darnell Wright, first-round pick, but there were times where it got busy on that line, and we were failing. But Hendon, he knew how to compromise, and he knew how to get up out of there. So we need a quarterback like that. I think that's what works with this system, because there's going to be times where that offensive line is not going to protect you all the time. And, this is the way of the world with college football now. You got to have a dual threat. You just have to, because a lot of these guys are faster now. It ain't like it was back in the day. These guys can get at you. They run 4.4, 4.5s. And they linebackers, edge rushers. So, yeah. All I know is that new kicker Tennessee got, he's got a crazy-looking picture on the transfer portal page. He do. I really want to see Faison Brandon play, though. Though I want Joey back. Okay. Yeah, I've seen Faison. I've seen him play. He is the truth. He is the true dual threat. He can throw, he can run, he can do it all. So we'll see. We'll see. If they truly have a quarterback competition. Now, let's say this, Andre. Let's say this. Would you be upset if Faison out-duels G-Mac for that starting position? Would you be cool with Faison being the number one quarterback? If he comes in and he's that guy and he beats out G-Mac? Or do you still want G-Mac to be that guy and be the starter? Because, competition is competition. And Faison Brandon is that dude. He has all the intangibles. So, because, who knows? Who knows at that point? But yeah, we definitely gonna if and when either or, it doesn't matter. Okay. He said if he comes back, I'm still rolling with us, but I don't want him. Joey Gas, no pocket awareness. Man, because he doing this. He ain't looking here. He ain't looking here. He trying to get it out. You know what I mean? You got to have your head on a swivel sometimes, but at the same time, as they say, keep your eyes down the field. If you feel it, yeah, you got to run. You got to get up out of there. It's just his startup. His startup slow. I felt like he ran better at Appalachian State. Honestly, when I watched his highlights before he came to Tennessee, I thought he ran better there. For some reason, man, legs had bricks or something in them. Because he could not get out. Oh, he couldn't get out the way. Linebacker couldn't get him. Edge rusher couldn't. He couldn't go nowhere. He'll get caught up, man. Like they'll run that little play, where he hikes it and he runs to the side and the offensive line, they go, go to the left or go to the right. Yeah, he has that, but man, he can't run worth nothing. But yeah, whenever they have this decision for Joey, I'm probably gonna go live again. No, I am going live again. Whenever that decision comes, I'm going live because I want to get everybody's reaction in regards to the decision. For real, man. But once again, this has been fun. I had to get on out of here. Got to take care of some stuff. But I had to come on here. You know what I mean? I had to get everybody's thoughts on, the Joey Aguilar situation. Let me see. Here's one of my concerns. If we roll with GMAC or Faison and the season doesn't go well, all the people saying don't want Joey, the season goes to crap, they're going to start calling the fire hyper. Well, shit, they calling to fire him now. Right now. We've seen the message boards. We've seen it. But, who you going to get at this point? That's Danny White's guy. He's going to stick with him. But this offseason is very telling because, okay, we're putting in the money. We've gotten who we've gotten in regards to the coaching staff. We've got who we needed as far as the transfer portal. Yeah, it's time to win. We ain't talking about 8-9 games. No. We trying to compete for an SEC championship. We're trying to compete for a college football playoff. We're trying to compete for a national championship. There ain't no more of these 4 or 5 lost seasons, 3 lost seasons. No, that's not going to cut it. College football playoff or bust. SEC championship or bust. You make it to the national championship, fine. But this is where we're going to really truly see, what this team is going to look like. I want to see what Heupel does offensively with this team. I'm thinking they're going to evolve. They're still going to, change it up, switch it up. So hopefully it works out. I don't want him to go, honestly. I don't. I think he's done a wonderful job at Tennessee so far. Yeah, we had an 8-5 season. Okay. But understand this. 2021, we went, 7-6? If I'm not mistaken. 7-5. We could have easily been, 10-3? There were a couple calls that went against us. Understand, the scoop and score in the Ole Miss game, called that back. Of course, the Purdue game, we probably wouldn't have been playing Purdue. What other game? The Pittsburgh game. If Hooker started and not Milton, easy win. Because we all know Milton threw 50 passes over people's heads. We could have been up 28-35 to nothing at the half. I'm pretty sure Hendon Hooker would have put it on the money. So we could have easily been 10-3 that season. And, of course, the 2022 season, yeah, should have played for a national championship, should have got to the playoffs. We finished, 11-2. The next year after that, I think we finished 10-3. Or no, 9-4, I think. 9-3 or something like that. Then, of course, the college football playoff year. And then 8-5 this year. And then we lose to Illinois in the Music City Bowl, which was utterly embarrassing. That should have never happened, but it did. I knew we was going to lose. It just looked bad. It really did. All I care about this season is Tennessee beat South Carolina. Yeah. I've been marking that game, too, on my calendar, the South Carolina game. The Auburn game, Texas game, South Carolina game, of course, the Bama game, and the LSU game. Yeah, Lane Kiffin. He gets returned to the scene of the crime. Yeah, the crime was the refs cheated us out of that win. Yeah, now you got to come back. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to that. Yeah. But yeah, man, hey, I'm about to get up out of here. Man, I appreciate y'all for joining me on this live. It's been cool. It's been real. It's been fun. I love this dialogue. Yeah, we should do this again. I'm going to do it again when Joey Aguilar gets the decision. Whether he's eligible or not, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get the reaction about it, see how he feels, and then go from there. And that's that. So I predict 9-3. That should get us in the playoffs. I can't wait to see the flying mustard bottles and golf balls at LSU game. You know it's going to happen. 9-3, get us in the playoffs. Definitely we get some great wins. I can see that. Why not? But yeah, this is your boy Blackout Jones. Man, I'm going to holler at y'all. Man, y'all take care. Have a great weekend. And like I said, man, I'm going to get back on it once the decision is made. So y'all take care of yourselves, man. All right. Holler at y'all later.